Hello everyone, I'm Jerry D'Ambrosio, Manager of Educational Content here with VectorVest, and it's my pleasure to bring to you this week's special presentation. First off, I'd like to congratulate you all for being here and watching this presentation. That tells me that you're taking a proactive approach to improving your financial situation. You're looking for ways to grow your investment capital, maybe generate some income, and you're working towards securing a comfortable retirement. Our founder, Dr. Bart DiLiddo, has delivered the 7 secrets to making money with VectorVest many times over the years, and in my opinion is the crown jewel of VectorVest presentations. It has everything an investor needs to know to achieve consistent success in the stock market and ultimately financial freedom. Tonight, we will kick off a 7-part series where we will take a deep dive into each secret and show you how you can begin to achieve financial freedom by just keeping it simple. And you've heard the old expression, keep it simple, stupid. Now this reminds me of my college teammate. I played basketball at Pace University many years ago, and his name was Dan Kiss. And I'll never forget, our coach used to yell at him from across the court and say, "Hey Kiss, keep it simple, stupid." And the ironic thing was he was the smartest guy on the team. But what the coach was just trying to get across was, hey, just slow down, pay attention to the fundamentals and the building blocks, and you'll be just fine. And that's really how we have to approach the stock market, because we are bombarded with data from every angle these days, right? Thanks to the internet. You know, the trick is to be able to sift through that data and come away with meaningful, useful information. And that's where VectorVest comes in. We want you to buy safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price. So we want you to focus on safety. We want you to focus on consistent and predictable financial performance. And you rarely hear any of the talking heads on TV or the so-called experts talking about safety. They're the ones that are going to bombard you with all this data. They talk about revenue and sales and earnings and inflation and interest rates and every economic indicator and factor under the sun. But they never assess the safety of a stock. So that's one of the things that we advocate for our subscribers to do, is to focus on safe stocks that are undervalued so that you're not paying a premium to participate in stocks that are rising in price. And this is another thing you won't hear from the so-called experts. You know, they'll always tell you, no matter what the market's doing, they'll suggest to buy stocks that are falling in price. You know, they'll tell you to buy a stock at 40 and tell you again to buy it at 30 and buy it at 20. And the next thing you know, you're running out of cash. You're left holding the bag, only waiting to see if the stock price can ever, get back to profitability. And it might happen. It may take years. And that is just wasteful time, better spent on growing the capital, investing money into stocks that are already doing what you want them to do, rising in price. And this is where VectorVest comes in. These are the indicators that Dr. DiLiddo first developed when he was searching for solutions and answers to what was plaguing him when he first started investing. And that is, what is the current and, more importantly, future value of a stock? How safe is it? And is it rising or falling in price? And folks, these indicators here get the job done. They are all on a 0 to 2 scale, which makes it extremely easy to determine good from bad. Above 1 is favorable and below 1 is unfavorable. Very simple. So what I'm going to do here is, it's best, I think, to hop into the program at this time. And I'm going to go right into what we call our stock viewer. And I'm going to right click just on the top stock in the stock viewer. I'll talk more about this list in a moment. But if I right click on the stock viewer and click on View Full Stock Analysis Report, here is a stock analysis report on LNG. It contains the same information that any stock analysis report would contain. And if I scroll down here, you could see clearly the values of all of our indicators here. So the first indicator is relative value, RV. RV is an indicator of long-term price appreciation potential. This indicator is far superior to a simple comparison of price and value because it is computed from an analysis of projected price appreciation 3 years out, AAA corporate bond rates, and risk. LNG has an RV of 1.84, which is considered excellent on a 0 to 2 scale. So what we feel is that LNG is likely to outperform a safer investment over the next 1 to 3 years by 84%. So if we're looking at the future potential value of a stock, this has considerable upside over the next couple of years. The next indicator is RS, or relative safety, and Dr. DiLiddo calls relative safety the missing link. It is an indicator of risk. It's computed from an analysis of the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance, debt to equity ratio, sales volume, business longevity, price volatility, and other factors. So all of the data that gets thrown at you from every angle, from the internet, from the TV, all that data is crunched by us and outspits an indicator that assesses the risk of the underlying stock. LNG has an RS of 1.38, which is considered very good on a 0 to 2 scale. So not only does LNG in this case, because that's the stock that we're looking at, have tremendous upside potential over the next 1 to 3 years, it is a relatively safe investment, not very risky. And the third indicator is relative timing, or RT. Relative timing analyzes a stock's price trend. So now we're looking at a technical perspective, a trend perspective on the stock. RT is computed from an analysis of the direction, magnitude, and dynamics of a stock's price movements day over day, week over week, quarter over quarter, and year over year, and more weight is put towards quarter over quarter movement. If a trend dissipates, RT will gravitate towards one. And RT is such a smart indicator because it is actually able to identify dissipating and weakening trends before the trends actually reverse. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you'll learn that in time. But it's such a great indicator of the short-term price trend of the stock. So RV and RS are fundamental indicators, looking at the company's fundamentals. Relative timing, purely technical, looking at price direction, magnitude, and dynamics. And then finally, our master indicator, VST, stands for value, safety, and timing. It is computed from the square root of a weighted sum of the squares of RV, RS, and RT. Stocks with the highest VST ratings have the best combination of value, safety, and timing. So VST is an indicator that puts every stock in the database on the same playing field. It analyzes the value, safety, and the timing of each stock and gives us a very comprehensive, easy-to-read indicator called VST. LNG has a VST rating of 1.62, which is excellent on a 0 to 2 scale. So what I would suggest, if you are new to VectorVest, right-click on any stock, print out a stock analysis report, keep it by your desk. The definitions don't change. The values will change based on the stock that you're looking at, but it's a nice cheat sheet to have so that if you're looking at a stock anywhere in the program, hey, what's RV again? And you'll always have it. You don't always have to pull up a stock analysis report. So the first thing that you want to do when opening up the VectorVest program, maybe for the first time, is build a watch list of your stocks. Watch lists provide the fastest, easiest way to learn VectorVest, takes the guesswork out of managing your portfolio, and saves hours and hours of valuable time. So you can build watch lists of stocks that you own. You can build watch lists of stocks that you want to keep track of. Maybe they're suggestions or recommendations from family members, or you hear a talking head on television touting a certain stock. Put them in a watch list and see what VectorVest has to say about it. See what our indicators are reading. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to open up the program again, and I'm going to go to our Welcome tab. This is likely the first page or the first tab that opens up when you open up VectorVest for the very first time. I would suggest to watch the videos here. There are 3 of them. We're going to go through the first one here today. I want to bring you up to the top because I want to talk a little bit about what we call the Little Green Book. It's a green book written by Dr. DiLiddo titled Stock Strategies and Common Sense. And I would suggest everybody, when you have a chance, give this book a read. It really gives you some insights on the origins of the VectorVest system. So again, the first thing you want to do, build a watch list of stocks that you currently own. So in this section here, you can add up to 20 symbols. So if I start typing in symbols here, what you'll see is that a little drop down will appear. And if you don't know the symbol, if you don't know the company name, and you just start typing out the first few, very similar to a Google search, it'll load and populate that list with the stock that you're looking for. Just type in comma, separate the symbols by commas. If you ever make a mistake, it'll let you know. But all you have to do from here, once you load in all of the stocks in your watch list, separated by commas, just click on Add Stocks, and then you'll see them all listed here. Last thing you'll do, click on Analyze My Stocks Now. That'll take you to the watch list section. You'll see a little audio player pop up here, and what this will do is it'll take you through all of the information that you see here on this spreadsheet. All of our indicators, it'll guide you and review each indicator here. You can close that box and watch it later. So here we're looking at a watch list. What I love about a VectorVest watch list is that it automatically brings the best stocks to the top of the list and the worst stocks to the bottom of the list, because the list is sorted by our VST indicator. It's not sorted by company or symbol or price. It's sorted by VST. What do we know about VST now, right? It combines value, safety, and timing, puts each stock on the same playing field, and that's how this list is sorted. You can see the top stock is LNG. Next in the list is VRTX. VRTX priced at $296. You can see it has a buy rating. LNG, we went through the indicator on the stock analysis report, but you can see here it's undervalued, price is below its value, tremendous long-term upside potential. It's a safe investment, it's rising in price, and it's got a really strong VST of 1.63. VRTX, it's fully valued. It's got really nice upside potential. We feel that this stock is likely to outperform a AAA rated bond by 41% over the next 1 to 3 years. It is a safe investment. The price trend is neutral, right? Because the RT indicator is at 1.01. We said above 1 is favorable, below 1 is unfavorable. So the short-term price trend is neutral at this time. Good VST of 1.29 also has a buy rating. So you can perform the same exercise, the same analysis on every stock in the watch list. Now let's say this is your portfolio and you purchase the stocks maybe based on their VST scores. After you buy the stock, the most important thing is what? Is it fundamentals? I wouldn't say so. I would think the most important thing is price performance. After we enter the position, the most important thing is if I'm making money, am I losing money? So we can come in here and sort or re-rank the list by relative timing just by simply clicking on the column header. That brings up to the top of the list the stocks that are in the strongest uptrends, and to the bottom of the list the stocks that are in the strongest downtrends. And this right here is where your work is needed. And that brings us to the last element here in keeping it simple, and that is managing your portfolio. And you can do that right from the watch list. You want to focus on selling low VST stocks that are going down in price and replace them with high VST stocks that are going up in price. So if we go back to our watch list and we could just take a look at the stocks at the top of this list here that are in the strongest uptrends compared to the stocks at the bottom of the list that are in the strongest downtrends. And if I highlight those and right click, we can view the chart. And just to explain what we're looking at here, we have the rating, the recommendation at the top. We have our stop price here in teal, and we have earnings per share at the bottom. So this was a high VST stock in our watch list that is rising in price. And you can see the stock has gone from bottom left to upper right over the last 1 year. Earnings per share is higher now than it was 52 weeks ago. Went through a little rough patch there at the beginning of the year, but boy, really picking up some momentum here. Stock has a buy rating, and it's just off of its 52-week high. If we move to the next stock, here's CI, healthcare company, nice earnings per share, bottom left to upper right. Stock is currently a buy as well. Here with URI, a little bit different. Good earnings per share. This is a rental company, business services, leasing industry group. Now overall, this stock is in a downtrend. You can see that the RT indicator, remember, was 1.09. So when you put RT on the chart, you can see that RT has been declining now for the last month or so. And then Philip Morris, this was one of our low VST stocks with a low RT. You can see the RT currently at 0.77. And look at the difference in earnings per share performance here. If I scroll to the next stock, and then finally the last one. High VST stocks, fundamentally sound companies, they do a great job of growing their earnings, right? Each and every quarter, each and every year. And that is reflected most times by price performance as well. This is where our work is needed, at the bottom of the watch list. So the stocks at the top that have either buy or hold ratings, that have RT indicators above 1, we don't have to worry so much about them yet. It's the stocks at the bottom of the list that we want to get rid of. First off, before I eliminate and delete those 3 stocks, I want to talk about the watch list average at the bottom. This is an average, a simple average, of all the indicators and parameters that you see here. So you can see the portfolio here is fully valued, got good upside potential long term. It's a relatively safe portfolio, but the RT rating, the overall price trend of the entire portfolio, is neutral at 1.01. So if I delete those 3 stocks, those stocks have sell ratings, they're all in downtrends. You can see that automatically improves the health of our portfolio. RV went up, RS went up, RT went up a little bit. So if you sell low VST stocks that are falling in price, you want to look to replace them with high VST stocks that are rising in price. So if I go back to the stock viewer, this is the master list of over 9,000 stocks that we track, ranked by VST descending. So the stocks at the top of the list have the best combination of all 9,000 stocks that we track of value, safety, and timing. So if I take the top 3 stocks here that I don't own, based on VST, right, we already own LNG. If I right click on those, click on add to watch list, I want to add those to my how to manage your stocks watch list, and watch what that does to the overall health of the portfolio. RV goes up, RS goes up, relative timing, more importantly, goes up. Now your portfolio here is in a nice strong uptrend, and you are buying stocks that are rising in price. Lastly, folks, I'm going to go into our training tab and talk to you a little bit about our Successful Investing Quick Start course. This is the foundation to becoming a successful, consistent investor in the stock market. I would urge you to watch the introduction and all 5 lessons, and I want you to click on this link here at the bottom, because next week we are delivering, Brian D'Amico and Todd Schaefer are delivering a webcast called The Successful Investor. It is free, and in this webinar you'll learn the exact criteria to use to pick the right stocks instead of wondering what should I look for or did I pick the right one. 3 keys to buy at the right time so you aren't at the mercy of seemingly random market movements. And finally, when to sell your stock so you can have peace of mind knowing you can minimize losses and protect profits. These webinars are next week. Just select the date and time, fill out your name, email address, and you'll automatically be registered for, again, our free webinars next week. Well, folks, hope you enjoyed this week's presentation. Remember, this is the first part of a 7-part series. So next week, Todd Schaefer's going to come in and talk about secret number 2, learn to read graphs. Thank you, everybody, and you guys have a great weekend.
Yeah.